crying because of hunger. Some of them crying because of sin. Do you know how sin can make us cry? Our choices, our irresponsible behaviors make us cry. But do you see people crying in your neighborhood? Young people suffering on the streets of HOBART. And then God speaking to you, take this child, nurse him for me, and I will pay you. I like that. And that's what I'm trying to do in Uganda. As I've said, there are so many children coming to us, either because of AIDS, because of poverty, because of hunger, because of other diseases. And God is saying, take this child and nurse him for me. So when we go here this morning, I'd like God to open your eyes, and He will show you. The problem, we are always very stubborn. We hear Him speak, He challenges us, but we don't want to respond. But when we go out this morning, I'd like you to hear. First of all, see, hear, and wherever God sends you, it could be your neighbor. It could be a broken family. And God is sending you, take this family, take this young man, take this child, and nurse him for me, and I'll pay for you. And because of what Moses' mother did to him, later we read about the great story of the deliverance of the children of Israel from Egypt. But simply because his mother accepted to nurse him. If he hadn't done that, it would be a different story. I'm sure God had many ways of doing this. But God wants to use you. He wants to use me. And he used Moses. And all that we read in the story of the Exodus is because his mother accepted to do that. And I'm always proud of my grandmother who nursed me. I don't think that my grandmother thought that I would be a priest. I don't think so. That I would be working with this organization where we have 2,300 children. I don't know whether she knew it. But God raised me to do that. I would like to thank you very much. I'm going to share with you a few of the slides of the work that we are doing in Uganda, and you will see what we do. This is a classroom. Thank you. You are lucky you are tall enough to do that. Otherwise, not good. Now you see, these are classrooms that have been put up with money from our aid and also money raised by people here in Australia and Tasmania. They sent to us and we put up that classroom. Those are 6 classrooms. Before we had that classroom, the biggest class in my school was about 113 children. That is big. And after these classrooms, we now have 65 children in each class. It's still big. But for us, that's a blessing. I don't know where to point, here or there. There. Okay, this is an ambulance. We were blessed to get this ambulance last year in December. Before that, we didn't have anything to use to refer patients. And one time I witnessed a mother dying before me because there was no transport. And then people raised money for us to buy this ambulance. So we can refer these patients. It's 33 kilometers from us, the next hospital. And we also use this hospital to reach communities, villages, and teach them how to prevent diseases. These are mothers who come to us for immunization. There are 7 killer diseases in Uganda which we have to immunize, and it's free of charge. The government pays everything, but our staff participate in this. I told you about the water problem in Uganda. We cannot have safe, clean water. Our schools are only 200 meters from Lake Victoria, but the water is badly contaminated. And we drilled this borehole for one village amongst 12 villages. And I remember we received money from this church and we bought water tanks so that we can have safe, clean water at school. So we need also to respond to the bad water in the villages, which we have not yet achieved. But at least at school and at the clinic, we can have safe water. And if we do that, we can reduce the infant mortality in the children in Africa. This is one of my roles. I visit communities around our schools, and I speak to mothers and families which have different problems. This is a single mother. She's HIV positive, and her children are sponsored at our school. So I go to them and pray and encourage them. This is the meal that we serve at our school. As I told you that many children in my school come from homes without any meal. So they come to us and we prepare them 2 meals. A cup of porridge, that is maize flour, in the morning, and then a solid meal at lunch. That is maize flour, and the brown stuff is beans. That's the easiest that we can prepare for 900 pupils at a go. And we have 2 schools. So that meal is only possible after these children have been sponsored. I'm glad when I talk sponsorship, here you know it because you sponsor 2 children. This church sponsors 2 children at my school. And I tell you, we still need more sponsors. We have more children. In the foyer there, we have kids of such children who need sponsorship. It's $35 a month. And from $35, we pay that meal, we pay the uniform, the books and pens, and then the medical needs from that money. That's the assembly at our school. Every Friday, we bring up children together and we share the gospel with them. And it's exciting to see these children coming to Christ, them grow in faith. These are giving out Bibles. I tell you that a family that cannot buy food certainly cannot save money to buy a Bible. So we have people here and churches which collect money, send it to us, and then we buy Bibles for these communities. So part of our ministry, we do church planting, and we encourage people in different communities by giving them Bibles for the new converts. That's a vocational school for teenagers and young people who don't get a chance of going to school. So we bring them together and teach them skills of tailoring,